This article is about a microchip which is now getting beta tested on women, and it's to do with the birth control, it says. Well, there's control for you folks. And I'm sure they'll sell it all. I've never seen any ads for it or looked them up or anything. I'm sure it'll be the same kind of thing. Oh, it's so convenient. It's for you, we care about you. Bill Gates temporary sterilization microchip in beta female testing by the end of the year, it says. Now, Bill Gates, again, the big philanthropist, as you well know. Remember, too, that going back is, there's that awful word, I hate using it, because apparently these guys are responsible for the whole planet, and since the days of the Anunnaki and the Nephilim and all that stuff to the present time. But the Illuminati, the real Illuminati that broke out at least in one place and spread a little bit during its time, with Adam Weishaupt, of course. But anyway, he did say in his writings that they would create, they would control all markets, stock markets and everything, but also create philanthropic foundations and run the world like a parallel government. We have that with all the foundations that fund all the NGOs and the guys that protest and demand what the big boys want them to demand. And it's quite astonishing to see it all there. Bill Gates is a philanthropist, just like they said, Adam Weishaupt said. And I read an article a couple of years ago on the air, in fact, it's from the Royal Institute of International Affairs and Council on Foreign Relations, talking about it's time to bring on board and give them more of a say in the running of the world. And it was about giving the philanthropists, the top ones, the right to make decisions and make big moves that affect everyone, because they're naturally intelligent and they've got their best interests at heart. So here's Bill Gates, who's into all kinds of tinkering with the human genomes and everything else. This is earlier this week I wrote about a deal reached that will soon be pumping out medical microchip implants. This is meet the new face of medicine that polygamously marries big pharma, biotech, nanotech, and wireless remote technology. Maybe hooking oneself into the Internet of Things will be an additional app. Although this sounds like a passive form of medicine where someone else gets to call the shots, so to speak. The same developers who are bringing the wirelessly remotely controlled microchipped implants are actually focusing on their first flagship products. Gates Foundation funded birth control microchip implants. This is wireless technology allows the remotely controlled chip to turn a woman's ability to conceive off or on at will. Temporary sterilization. Of course, with remote technology funded by eugenics, depopulation fanatics, the first questions should always be the ability to conceive by those whose will. This would be the complete antithesis of female empowerment or women's right to choose, would it not? The encryption is alleged to be so safe that cyberhackers cannot break entry. That means you too. Imagine if they could break into it, and make you ultra-fertile or something. Oh, they could really get you then. It says, the chip can be implanted into the hip, arms, or beneath the back. Mum was the word during the last few years of development until it was finally publicly confirmed that the beta testing for the birth control chip will be starting towards the end of this year. Indeed, human volunteers will be sought for real-life chip testing. They'll make it cool to have one, you see. Make it trendy, and they'll all run to do it. This is the birth control chip is the brainchild of our Professor Robert Langer from Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation has funded the research, and the prototype is ready for human testing. The chips will be ready for sale by the year 2018, according to Robert Langer. The Institute's Chip Foundation and the Bill Gates Foundation have been working on the birth control chip for the past 3 years. The size of the chip is 20 millimeters by 20 millimeters by 7 millimeters. The reservoirs of hormones would be stored on a microchip of 1.5 centimeters. The chip's data would always be encrypted so that other so-called cyber criminals or hackers cannot access information contained in the chip or misuse or alter or destroy it. The release of hormones will be done by melting a part of solid hormonal stock using a small electric shock which won't be noticed by the human. The safety tests would begin by the end of the year 2015, and Robert Langer is confident the chips will hit market sometime in 2018. As usual, the main target for the testing phase of the chips are women in third world countries. They always do that, folks. Says that means African and Indian women will be human guinea pigs subject to more of Gates' destructive horrors, like paralyzing nearly 50,000 Indian children with his polio vaccine tests. That's actually happened. It says, or deaths, paralysis in Pakistan, and more paralysis in Africa. But I'm sure they will go back and make sure those women can conceive again, right? Sure. No one is admitting who's actually in control of the wireless capabilities of the implant that's allegedly impenetrable by hackers. Who does a woman see to have her ability to conceive turned back on? That would be an important piece of information. Interestingly, this news came right on the heels of New Zealand's academic higher-ups seriously suggesting that temporary sterilization of all young teen girls, at least in New Zealand. Just like Brave New World, eh? Headlines were simply calling it free contraception and recommending the temporary chemical shutting off of young female fertility for society's sake. You know that vague thing called society? Or your community, you know? No thought whatsoever to looking at to solve the source of the problem, even if it should be looked at so harshly, or to the health of developing teen girls. And just like Gates' moves in India, no real thoughts go to solving issues of impoverishment, which historically leads to booming birth rates and medical birth issues. Why better people's lives when there is so much control in remotely and wirelessly deciding if a woman can conceive? So it goes on and on and on, but you know, this is eugenics, plain and simple, and this is a beta test really for the whole world, because remember, depopulation and total population control by your betters way above you. You see, these folk that come out with the special wombs, that they will be deciding who should live and who should die and who should not conceive according to your social status, your genetic status, your hereditary status, and all the other statuses that you have, you see. And they know all that about you because you prattle about everything about yourself on the internet and on your phones, and you chat away and you text and all the rest of it. So they know all about you. Very clever, isn't it? But again, the guys at the top are not stupid, folks. They're cunning, though. They can be stupid in a lot of different ways. Psychopaths can be awfully You can meet psychopaths who have below average intelligence, who are multi-billionaires, because of a streak of incredible cunning for certain areas, you see. And they have a natural, it's not just intuitiveness, they know how other people think. They don't feel it themselves, but they know how all emotions and so on work on you. Yeah. But they don't have to be terribly bright, you see. They can be coarse brutes, in fact, and often are. But we live in a world of deception, and again, like that George Carlin said, in his particular little clip, I'll put up this link, I'll put all these articles up tonight, in fact, but he talked about the big club. It's a big club, and you ain't in it, you see. That's what runs the world. But they train you to be naive and silly and, you know, trusting, and yep. And it works awfully, awfully well. I've been saying that my whole life long. Now remember, folks, you can go into cuttingthroughthematrix.com. You can go into the archive section. You'll see thousands of talks I've given over many years and download them for free. Remember, too, if you want to, you can help me out by throwing a few pennies my way. And it's all on the site how to do it. And you see all the other sites I've got there, too. They're all listed on cuttingthroughthematrix.com. In case one of them goes down, you can always try another one. And remember, too, you can buy the books and discs at cuttingthroughthematrix.com, and you can donate as well if you want to. It helps me tick along and buy more refurbished parts for my vehicle, etc. As you well know, I'm not a stinking rich sod who's out to make a career out of what's called the Patriot Movement. Anyway, from Hamish myself from Ontario, Canada, it's good night, and may your God or your gods go with you.